Good afternoon, Off the Bench Sports. We're live at Madison Prep Academy, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Rumble on the River joining us from the Shreveport-Bossier area. He's a legend. He's a 700 plus career-winning head coach. Please welcome Mac Jones. What's up, bro?
I'm good.
Oh man, awesome.
Good to be here.
You know, generally, I kind of know which direction I'm gonna go in.
Right.
I have a resemblance of what kind of direction I'm gonna go in, man.
Right.
I've been waiting on this one for so long.
No,
I'm kind of lost for words,
no,
man.
We're good. Yeah.
Hey, give us a little bit about your history, man.
Originally from Shreveport, Louisiana, born and raised there. Was able to go off to play for the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Came back at the age of 22, assistant coach at Byrd High School, and at the age of 24, took over head coaching job at Woodlawn High School, and kind of everything else. The rest is history, you know. From there.
Right. Do you remember back when you first started? What was coaching like for coaches back then? And what was it like, especially for you?
Well, I think when I first got into it, a lot of kids played multiple sports. They played football, they played basketball, they ran track. So I think now the game of basketball has evolved to a year-round sport that a lot of guys, there's no days off, there's no summers off in basketball. So, you just got to grind with the kids because like now it's basketball and nothing else. So we just try to do what we do. We're trying to keep up with the times, and things are changing. We just try to find out what is new that works for us. So we just try to go with that.
Man, you've been a mainstay. I believe that's the correct word for how I'm trying to describe this sentence. But in the process of your 20 plus years in basketball and as a high school coach in the Shreveport area, at what point did you notice kids the best of the best started flowing through your program?
I can go back, even when I was at Woodlawn High School, I had kids, Zach Johnson, which went on to play at Louisiana Tech. Chris Worthy was recruited by Tulane. Dwayne Jones, of course, is the all-time leading scorer in Shreveport-Bossier history. Just to name a few guys. So when I came in at a young age, I had to kind of learn those guys. I was coaching guys at the age of 24. They was like 18 and 19. So it wasn't easy. It was a grind, but through the good Lord, and you got to have some prayer in that, and because like it's not easy. Just coaching strictly public school kids, we have to try to deal with who you got. I can't recruit kids in, and like some private schools can do that. Which nothing against it, because they can do it. It's fair. But we've taken public school kids out of certain neighborhoods and just try to make it work for what we got.
Now versus then versus now rather, because building coaching philosophies and strategies, how has that changed or evolved for you as a coach in your longevity?
I mean, I cheat. I steal from other coaches. I steal from other coaches because it works. I don't have all the answers, so I watch. That's why I go down south, like where I'm here now in Baton Rouge playing. We was in Lake Charles a couple of weeks ago, and I like that our state have come from just a football state to also a basketball state. Because I have guys recruiting now, like they love Louisiana kids because they tough kids. Right. So probably back in the 80s and 90s, we were more or less called a football state. Right. So now I think we're getting back to the grind of being a basketball state, and that's due to a lot of great coaching in our area in our state. So I cheat and I steal from other guys. I drills, offense, inbound plays. So I don't play fair.
when you were a young coach, who did who were some of the coaches that you looked up to that, I don't want to use the word steal.
I know.
Because I'm sure you let them have it back after you stripped it down.
I mean, I was fortunate enough to coach against my high school coach. where a lot of guys don't get that opportunity.
Right.
You know, my high school coach, Willie Stringer, is a legend back in the Shreveport area. Most of the guys I came in coaching against now are not even coaching. Charles Thrash, he's deceased now. Delbert Clinton, a legend also, Byrd High School state champion coach. Walter Jackson, Huntington High School before I got there. Melvin Jones. And these are names that people probably don't recognize, but these are the shoulders I stand on for today. You know, those guys helped me throughout, you know, my career. Showed me how to be a professional. So that was the key to it, yeah.
You've been a guy, again, your longevity at one, just at one school. You know, again, yourself, Charles Smith, you know, guys like Jeff Jones here where we're at.
Right.
You know, in today's market, you don't find guys that stay at schools very long time because this job may seem more attractive or whatnot. How many coaches have come under your coaching tree?
At least about 10 guys, you know, that I'm always trying to help, you know. I got a good staff with me right now, and those guys can easily be head coaches somewhere else because, like say, they make my job easy right now. You know, my assistant coach been with me 20 plus years.
Wow.
And he could have got his own job somewhere else, but you know, what we do I try to keep it a family affair, you know what I'm saying? Now his son is playing for me, so it goes from being a 5-year-old, now he's, you know, he's getting able to coach his own son. So, you know, I try to make it easy. I tell people simple is easy for me. You know, I just try to, you know, practice is hard, but it's simple. And the game of basketball is simple, and I don't want to try to take it and make it something, you know, rocket science, but it's real simple. You know, it's passing and cutting, it's defending and rebounding, and it's shooting. So it's simple.
What's more important, teaching kids how to run plays or teaching them how to compete?
Oh, if they compete in basketball and what we ask them to do, then they're going to compete in life. They're not going to quit in life. So it's not about playing next level, going to NBA and all that stuff. I try to make sure those guys have a great foundation so when they leave me, not only can be a great person, but they can become great fathers and husbands and you know, and throughout their career and become good people. So that's what we try to do at Huntington.
Right, I'm gonna put you out there on the island right now.
I'm good.
Don't say good. Best player you've ever seen in the Shreveport Bossier area?
Oh, it's been so many. You know, you got to say Stromae Swift, one of them, one of the great ones. Kid that I coached, Dwayne Jones. A lot of people don't know about his story because he didn't play college basketball. You know, Paul Marshall. You know, I had a chance to play against Joe Dumars. So when I was in 9th grade. So you know, Joe is one of my favorite guys. So it's just so many. You know, I've been fortunate enough to be to come back to my hometown and not only. Because I was a player there back in 1983. I was MVP of the city of Shreveport back in 1983. Nobody talks about that because it's not important. But I was pretty good back in the day. But people don't know me. They know me as coach. So.
Right. You had, and this is just me on the outside looking in with this philosophy. You had to be extremely good for so many who came way after you to only want their kids to play for you. Parents, I think parents think about that when they're deciding to have kids, where you know what area they're going to live in.
Oh, without a doubt. I think it's the trust factor that we're not only just teaching basketball skills, we're teaching life skills. And you know, and I tell people my practices are always open. I don't have closed practice because whatever I do is not hidden. You know, I want to make sure parents are engaged in whatever we do at Huntington High School, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that.
I believe in that philosophy as well, and I applaud you for that because again, when you're doing right, there's nothing that should be hidden.
I have nothing to hide.
I got to ask you a tough question now.
No, I'm good.
One thing that's probably eluded you in all the wins you've had, in my knowledge or recollection, you've yet to win the big one. Is that really important to you at this stage of your coaching career, or are you just happy with being noted as one of the greatest coaches to ever coach in our state?
Well, you know, I think if you're chasing a ring all the time, then you're not chasing kids' lives. So I chase kids' lives instead of chasing that ring because a ring and a trophy are going to sit there on the shelf, but lives are are valuable every day and, throughout, their career. So I want to make sure kids are invested in their lives. And if I win one, the good Lord bless me for one, what's for you is for you. I always live on that motto. And, if it's for me, it's for me. If not, I've had a, life is good.
Man, I've grown quite fond of a kid that plays for you now. I think, man, when he really hones his ball handling abilities up a little bit more, he's gonna be monstrous to stop. That's the Cedric Webb. How has he changed from freshman year to now for you?
When he came in, I had kids like Kenny Hunter, Rayshawn McCullers. We had a solid foundation before he got there. But as freshmen from middle school to high school, everybody want to play. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was a process. You had to go through the process, the battles of not being the best on the team, and we got through it. So now he's grown tremendously, not only just as a basketball player, but as a great person. So. We're fortunate to have him. Like I said, he's a senior this year, being highly recruited by a lot of schools, and he's humble about it. He's taking it not only as he's a star of the team, but he's humble about what he's doing right now.
Man, I'm really glad you mentioned that. Cause you gave me really another question. I think I was probably right there at the finish line.
I'm good.
But again, a lot of kids choose to come to Huntington and play. I know you mentioned the trust factor, but how is it that you keep kids? Again, 2017 to 2020, Huntington was loaded. And like you just said, mentioned about D. Cedric. Again, you had Kenny Hunter, you had kid 23 that I really love. One of the best point guards in the state at that time, Rayshawn. How do you keep kids engaged enough to where, D. Cedric could have went anywhere and he was going to become D. Cedric. But, him and his family chose to stay there at Huntington with you. What comes with that? What encompasses that, and how does that make you feel?
We're one of the. My program is one of the different. When I say different, we start basketball practice at 8 a.m. every morning. I'm their first hour teacher. And not only just my seniors, I have freshmen, junior varsity, and varsity. So I got about 35 kids every morning. We got 2 gyms, so we're able to do some things other schools can't do. So it's a process. Right now, we got about 19 freshmen, 17 junior varsity kids, and we got 16 varsity kids. So we're one of the few schools that practice first hour. I get them first hour because I want to plant that seed every morning about doing the right thing on and off the court, and it works for me. It doesn't, everybody doesn't do that, but it works for me. So we're able to get the guys in, have their own practices, and and it's a process. Everybody don't like it. But at the end of the day, 4 years from now, they'll appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that. Again, when you're getting great positive flow of information and love showered on you every morning, that grows on you. And if you're listening with your ears and your heart and not just letting the words flow through, it attaches to you and what you do in your everyday life. Hey, man. Thank you.
Oh, anytime.
You know what, man? I'm still lost for words, man. I just never thought that this one would happen. I've interviewed tons of coaches across the state, some multiple times, but it's a few coaches across the state that I still haven't, interviewed. You're one that I had at the top of my list.
Man, I appreciate it.
I just, again, I only know one way to be honest, honorable, and tell the truth. Even when it hurts, sometimes you got to tell the truth. And that's where I stand with Off the Bench Sports and in my personal life. So again, man, let me do this. Thank you very much, sir. Again, I'm honored And I'm gonna shout out to this guy for you, because I know you don't do all that. but shout out to your guy, man, Chris Collins. He's in Texas.
Oh yeah, that's my guy.
I know that as soon as I post this to the other sites,
that's my guy.
You know, he's gonna have a ton to say.
Oh yeah.
And so, hey, thank you, man, and have a great game today.
Appreciate it.
I know you prepared you guys, because I've never seen a time that you weren't prepared as a team. Thank you. Remember, get off the bench, get into the game.
All right, thanks, man.